And so this conversation in the long run is a world-changing conversation. I would submit that other than love your wife and love your children, do a good job at your job or whatever, and other than that, there's nothing more important than this conversation. There's nothing more important than this conversation. If this conversation fails, then the world will have to wait another 1,000 years. I really do believe that. It's a very rare conversation, is what I'm trying to say. And how long does it take? How long does it take for the next one to come along? How long does it take? If this conversation fails, who's going to be more rational? Who's going to be more committed? Who's going to produce more podcasts? Who's going to do it? If it's not you and me, baby. Who is going to do it, and when is it going to get done? And how long will it take for people who've had exposure to this conversation to say, oh, philosophy, it's nonsense, right? Nonsense. And I think of this, and I really would invite you to think of this too. We're engaged in something crucial, elemental and crucial here. I would suggest this. When you come to the board and you feel like posting something snippy, think of how it looks in 200 years. You feel like posting something immature, you feel like getting hostile, you feel like, you know. Just think, how's this going to look? We are stepping in concrete, not water or even mud. We are stepping in concrete. The footprints, the posts, the emails, the conversations that we have will be visible for years and decades and centuries. This is the most important conversation that is occurring in the world at the moment. And so when you are thinking philosophy, talking philosophy, posting, emailing, whoever, whatever, take the long view that you are participating in the greatest conversation in the world. More people in the future can be freed by us than have ever lived on this planet, ever. Massive, huge, wonderful. We aim to free hundreds of billions of people. The future. The place we define, or if we fail to define, bad people will define. The future we define, they will live in. And if we get this conversation right, my friends, if we get this conversation right, we free the future. And if we get it wrong, for 1,000 years, people will live in physical or spiritual or political or economic darkness and in hell. We can free the future. We can cure disease. The free market cures disease. Get rid of socialized medicine, we cure disease. We can cure cancer. We can heal the environment from the scars inflicted by the state. We can free children. We can nurture and protect children. We are the guardian angels of the future. We will move through the future, saving everyone continually, if we get this conversation right. We can build wealth. We can educate the children. We can cure disease. We can rescue the poor. We can help people live forever if we get rid of religion and its opposition to stem cell research. We can do all of that. We can be miracle workers. We can be the gods of the future. But we have to be careful about this conversation. And that is the long view of success for Freedomain Radio, which is freeing the future. And I'm so excited that you are part of this right at the beginning, or close to the beginning. And I look forward, as always, to your donations. Mwah! All the best. Bye.
Hey, Steph.
Hi.
So I'm wondering about this, my spam-tastic fear about getting together a list of emails of random people to send advertisements to.
Well, see, wait, I'm going to stop you right there, right? Because I must say that there's a little bit of mythology in what you said, if you don't mind me mentioning it,
Oh, sure.
insofar
And
as,
this is what I'm asking. Excuse me. I need to drink something. Okay, go ahead.
well, random people to send advertisements to is not a very neutral, it's not a very value neutral way of putting it, if that makes sense to you.
Right.
First of all, there's no advertisement, right? Because I'm not charging for anything,
Okay.
right? I'm not charging anybody for anything in this conversation. You don't, I mean, we've had people who've gone through the entire podcast series twice, never donated a penny, right? So this is not an advertisement, this is an invitation.
Right.
I mean, I'm not just making up semantic words here. An advertisement is if you're trying to sell a product, and I'm giving it all away. And there's no hidden catch, and there's no listen to 10 podcasts and I own your dog. I mean, there's nothing hidden, right? If they want to donate, great. But it's not an advertisement, right? And secondly, of course, the way that I have talked about it is it's not random either, right?
Well, see, for me, if I was to go out and try to find these names, it would feel like I was just grabbing random because I've told pretty much everyone that I know about this, and from here on, it's just going to be the people I meet or just people I'll go looking around the internet for lists of people. But that there's something that just feels kind of I don't know dirty about that to me. I'm not sure why.
Well, I mean, that's a very interesting question, and I'd like to spend a few minutes on it because this is something that is important. But let me ask you this. If you were being paid $500 per email to get emails of people who were interested in this conversation, so you could make a fortune in like a couple of months and retire, how would you go about doing it?
That's for some reason that still didn't dislodge anything. I mean, the feeling is very much the same. I'm extremely excited about it's not an advertisement, so it's not a product, but you know what I'm saying is like the subject of these emails. I'm really excited about that. I mean, it pretty much dominates most of the conversations I have lately with my acquaintances, and I've been telling people verbally about how awesome these books are and such, and I'm just so delighted to be a part of this conversation in the early days because I think someday, 100 years from now, people are going to look back at this and say this was a watershed moment in history of the human race. I mean, I really feel that this is huge, but there's something about I get this image of someone opening up their email and seeing it's the equivalent of a cold call to me. And I have really, when I get unsolicited emails from anything, no matter, even if it's from a source that I would normally be interested in, I get really just put off by it. Like, I don't want to see that there. I mean, I surf the internet with ad block on, so I don't see any advertisements anywhere. I can't stand things that are uninvited in my life. And if I feel that if we contact people with these emails out of the blue like that, it's going to turn people off from this conversation. I don't know. It's probably my reaction to something, and I'm probably telling myself a story, but I'm just not sure where it's coming from.
Well, and I'm certainly open to other possibilities, other alternatives. So, how would you suggest that we could get the conversation out to more people?
I'm ordering one of those really tacky back windows decal stickers with the website name on it. I mean, that's going to be like my car wearing a T-shirt, I guess. But and see, that's something that I'm putting it out there for people to see, but I'm not throwing it at their email inbox. You know?
Okay, and so when you, what do you feel when you receive an unsolicited email? Right. So, like, just if you'd never heard of this conversation and somebody said, listen, there's this great podcast about philosophy. It's free. It was an award winner or a top 10 or whatever, 2010 podcast awards, biggest philosophy. Would you feel that that was like intrusive? Would you feel like that was annoying? Would you feel like that was invasive?
Yeah, actually, I do. I mean, even there are some emails that I receive from lists that I've even subscribed to that I start getting annoying that they're coming in. And these are the ones that I've voluntarily gone out and looked for and said, sign me up, send me stuff. And then I start getting really annoyed that they're there sometimes. And so, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just something weird about my inbox that I just hold sacrosanct or something, but
Oh, I guarantee you it's got nothing to do with your inbox, but that's where we'll start because it has a metaphorical level for
sure.
you, right? Because,
Right.
like, I don't like sending out unsolicited emails, right? And I sent
Right.
one list out April of last year, and I just reused those emails again, right? So I figure once every 18 months is not exactly spamming people. Of course, for a lot of people, it may go into the spam box. Some people will. Some people have thanked me, right? Written back and said, that's great. I'll definitely check it out, and so on.
Yeah.
One guy over the last year and a half has said, this is unsolicited email. You shouldn't be doing this. Blah blah blah. Right? But to me, it's like, well, you put your contact information out on the internet. You've got a blog about libertarianism. I'm sending you links to a free libertarian podcast. Like, help me understand how that's abusive. You know what I mean? I absolutely understand that, but let me try a countervailing perspective. If we
Yeah.
don't win, how many trolls do you think are going to come along as a whole and mess up this conversation?
Oh, life is going to suck big time if this doesn't succeed. I mean, yeah, I mean,
I mean, at least the
this,
trolls on the internet, it's an IP address, right? It's not guys coming to your house taking you away, right?
yeah. I mean, when I first started donating, I mentioned that if I live another 50 years, the quality of my life, after this conversation for those 50 years is just priceless to me, right? And
Right, right.
if this conversation recedes and goes away, then I'll be losing that priceless value again. And it'll be even worse to have grasped at it and lost it than to have never had it.
Well, but you're still talking about yourself, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, but for everything. I mean, for the amazing and beautiful human race that is to come that we love so much. I mean, I have that same feeling that you do, and I think that's one of the reasons that I have a great deal of optimism in thinking about this stuff. I mean, I really do feel very optimistic about the future. I think it's going to kick ass, but
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt,
but
but I
I don't
mean,
know how am I going to get there
you
from
understand, though,
here when
sorry to
I'm
interrupt, you understand that it's kind of funny to feel optimistic about the future but not want to contact people in the present. Okay, well, thanks. Keep it on the back burner. If this exploration doesn't get you where you need to be, then just let us know. And I appreciate that because it's been a while since we've had some dead air, so now we can have some.
Hey, no problem. Always glad to contribute.
Hey, Steph.
Hey,
Hey, you mind if I explore a little bit of this false self-hijacking that I just had this week?
yes. I think that would be fine. I guess I've already put inflammatory stuff out there, but if we could try and keep it not too inflammatory, I mean, that would be great.
No, I'll leave out a lot of the details and stuff, but it's just I want to focus on the feelings that I had during all of this and see if I can connect it with things that we've talked about before.
Okay, that sounds great.
So yeah, during this recent onslaught of Steph as a sucky cult leader stuff, there was a private message sent to me by one of these guys that got me kind of heated up, and I deliberately baited him in a false or in a private message conversation. And while I was kind of gearing up for this, this conversation, I had this voice in my head that was just saying, "Don't do it. There's nothing you can gain from this at all." But I still went ahead and did it. And the feeling that I had while I was typing in these nasty things, while I was writing this stuff, the feeling that I was trying to achieve, I think, was not only that I wanted him to feel bad, but I wanted him to know that I knew that he felt bad.
Right.
And there was, in the aftermath of this, when I finally got a hold of myself again and I apologized to him for it, because what I was doing is I was manipulating him, trying to get an emotion going in myself. I was manipulating him. I kind of got that same, familiar feeling in this interaction, which was I was trying to manipulate this guy in order to make him feel awful so that I could somehow feel justified or vindicated or something. I don't know what it was, but does that make any sense?
Yeah, I mean it's a little abstract, but let me just sort of see if I can understand it. So you were accused of something, and then you accused back, if I remember rightly, and you wanted to, if I understand, you wanted to get this person, right? You wanted to get them.
Yeah. So well, it was there was in this one thread. I had posted a question to this guy in response to one of his posts, and then one of our good buddies on Freedomain Radio helped me out by PMing me a link to this other board showing that this guy was just here to stir up trouble. And once I saw that, I deleted that post to him. And so then his response to that was to ask me, did you delete that post or was that Steph's doing? And then I said, I deleted it, and I just didn't want to, I just said, a fellow board member pointed out your posts on that other forum, and I realized that I'd made a mistake in responding to you. So then, while I was posting that response to him, I guess he deleted, or after I posted that response to him, he deleted reference to me in the thread or something like that. So then after that I said, I see you edited your censorship accusation to remove my name from the post. Nice save. And that nice save was a very sarcastic, I want to bite him here.
Right.
And then after that, he just smiled in response. And I said, this is where it really just went off the tracks. And I said, feeling embarrassed yet? I would be. So I wanted him to feel that same kind of embarrassment, that same kind of shame in having put out that accusation without it being true.
So, yeah, and if I understand it rightly, there's a standard which is that you are hypocritically changing your posts to cover your ass, right?
Right.
And this person that you're debating with hypocritically changes his post to cover his ass, right? So his accusation against you is unjust, and then he does exactly what he's accusing you of, right?
Yeah.
Is that that was your perception, right? I mean, I don't know the details, but that was your perception of the interaction, and that's what made you mad, right?
Well, I don't know. I was more or less mad that he was just coming in here and crapping all over the boards because, it's something that I place a lot of value on. I put a lot of myself into this community and into this conversation. I just don't want someone like that coming in and trashing it.